Can you get a high quality true 1/5 scale gas vehicle for less than a Traxxas sledge? In this video series, we're gonna find out, so stay tuned, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I picked up this 30 degrees north BWS 5B buggy from Fearless RC. They carry a lot of 30 degrees north stuff, as well as Roven trucks, King Motor trucks, and they even carry the Raminator line of trucks, as well as parts for all of them. I'm gonna leave a link to their website down in the video description, so check that out. In this video, we're gonna take a look under the hood, take a close look at everything that comes with it, and then give it its first run. Now, before we take a closer look at this car, let's see what comes with it. So first thing I wanna take a look at is this transmitter. You actually get a full-on FlySky FS GT3B transmitter with this car. This is a really nice transmitter. It's an older model, but it still has a bunch of functions. It's got a really nice screen on it here that allows you to have 10 different models, set your endpoints and trims and all that through that. And it's a good, strong feeling transmitter. This is probably the nicest transmitter I've ever seen come in an RTR vehicle. The only real downside to it is it takes 8 AA's instead of the standard 4 that most transmitters take these days, but that's not a big deal for what is really a good transmitter. You get a manual with the car, and this manual is Chinese in the front and then English in the back. It has a lot of good information about setting up the car, first starts, fuel mixture, things like that, so definitely worthwhile reading this. It's got all the different part numbers and everything listed in it as well. Fearless RC includes a handy tip guide here that talks about what to expect when you get the car, how to get support from them, and various other things like that. You get the full FlySky manual for the retransmitter. You get a 1/5 scale size sticker sheet to go along with your 1/5 scale size truck. I've already taken a few of these stickers off to put on the body because I just got too excited and want to put some on. And then you get this really cool comprehensive box full of things. You get a fuel mixing bottle, you get a funnel to go along with that. This is the charger for the receiver battery that is on the truck. It has a 3500 milliamp hour nickel metal hydride receiver battery, and this is the charger for that. You get a wheel wrench, some various other tools, bind plug, and these are the body clips from the car. All right, so going back to the car, now this is a 1/5 scale 29cc gas buggy. It has some similarities to the Losi 5 series of cars, though the drivetrain layout is a bit different. Let's take a look under the hood. Before we do that, I want to invite you guys to please subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell to get notified of future videos. We got a lot of really cool stuff coming up in the future, including torture testing this and a bunch of other videos. If you're enjoying the video, drop a like and leave me a comment and let me know what you think so far. Now this car is 31 inches in length, which is about the same length as an X-Max, but the way it's built is on a different level. This is my first foray with a 1/5 scale car. If you've never really seen one before, it's built so much beefier than an X-Max is. I was kind of surprised. It weighs a ton too. The layout's pretty interesting. It's got the engine facing backwards from the way that most of these engines would. It's got the output back here, and then there is no center differential. It is a locked center differential with shaft drive to the back and to the front differentials. This is a 29cc motor, and it's hidden underneath this cover, and this cover is actually really cool. It's designed to where when you put the body on, it sits directly under the body and completely supports the middle of the body. That should give that body a lot of reinforcement and should help it not break in crashes. Speaking of the body, I just wanted to point out this wing here. It's got a spring-loaded hinge on it that allows it to bend down when you hit a crash. I'm not entirely certain how much effect that's going to have in saving the wing in a crash, but it is kind of neat to have. It's also fairly flexible, so I think it'll hold up pretty well. Let me go ahead and get this cover off here, and then we'll take a closer look at this 29cc engine and everything else you get in this layout. All right, so taking a closer look at this engine, like I said, this is a 29cc two-stroke gas engine. It takes 25-to-1 oil mix. It's got this nice low profile air cleaner on here. This is a dual element air cleaner. I have already oiled the inner element here. It does not come pre-oiled, so that's something you'll want to do. I'm not sure who makes this engine. It doesn't really have any branding on it, but it does appear to be pretty well made. This exhaust is what appears to be a hydroformed tuned pipe. That's pretty cool. Hydroforming is basically where they take a flat piece of metal and then they blast high pressure water or other liquid into it, and it kind of puffs it up like a balloon. So that's kind of neat. And then there's actually a muffler here too, so this thing should be quieter than some other 5th scale gas RC cars. It's one of the reasons I actually got this, because I wanted something a little bit quieter so that I don't annoy my neighbors when I'm bashing. We've got these two big 5th scale servos here. These are going to be JX servos, and looking up their specs, they seem to be pretty good. I think they're about 55 kg each, and they should turn these wheels and operate this throttle pretty well. We've got a metal servo horn on the front and a plastic servo horn on the rear. In this box we have the 3500 milliamp hour 6-cell nickel metal hydride battery. I might upgrade this to a 2S LiPo in the future just to get a little more power to those servos, but we'll see. And then we've got the receiver in here. That's the receiver for the FlySky transmitter setup. Moving to the front, you can see these really nice 30 degrees north, all aluminum threaded body shocks. These things have 7mm shafts on them, and the springs on them are really stiff. They feel a little stiff for my liking, but they're not terribly so. And then we've got this beefy bumper here in the front. This is hard plastic. Be curious to see how that holds up in the long run. One thing I've noticed looking this truck over that I was kind of surprised about, given its price point and how much cheaper it is than the name brand 5th scale trucks, I was really surprised at the quality of everything. All the molding looks good on these turnbuckles. The metal looks to be of high quality. Everything fit and finish is nice. There's no sharp edges anywhere. It just seems to be pretty well put together. I've also checked all the screws and everything appears to be as it should be. I was really impressed with that, and it's more than I was expecting for the price. Speaking of the price, this truck is $750, which is a lot of money, but not for a 5th scale. You can get it at that $750 price point in a red and black body like on this one, or you can get it with a clear body. And for $150 less, you can get this as a roller without the engine or any of the electronics. Personally, for 150 bucks, I think it's worth getting these things in it. So taking a look at the chassis, you can see this is a really well-designed chassis. It kicks up on the side for additional strength. It's very thick, and everything appears to be very well made on it. You can also see all these screws have branding on them. That's not necessarily an indication that they're high quality, but the ones that don't have branding on them tend to be lower quality, so it's nice to see that on here. Before we take a look at the tire, I wanted to point out another nice attention to detail. See, they've got these nuts on here, and these are nicely branded, they're serrated, and these are really nice machined cap nuts, which helps keep the ends of the axles clean. I really like these. These wheels are interesting. They've got these kind of hubcaps on the outside. This feels like a bit of an older design, but if you look, it's actually got a real wheel inside underneath it, and you can get from a different model, you can get a different ring from this and change it into that other style looking wheel. This wheel's got a really nice metal insert here on the inside to keep it from stripping out. These tires are very beefy. They feel thick and high quality. They don't feel super squishy or garbagey or anything like that. And these are true beadlock wheels. And once again, everything just feels and looks high quality. All right, let's take this thing out and see what it sounds like. We've got fuel in it and everything's ready to go. Now, in full disclosure, this is not the first time I've started this. I actually had a bit of a problem when I first tried to start this. The spark plug turned out to be no good. It has a Torch brand spark plug in it, and those aren't exactly the most reliable in the world. I went ahead and replaced it with an NGK plug, and it fired right up. That being said, it is ice cold. It hasn't really been run much, so let's go ahead and give this thing a start. Prime the carburetor, choke it. A couple of pulls, turn the choke off. A little more choke. There we go, choke back off. And there we go, she's running. All right, let's head back inside. All right, well, there we go, guys. Completed first run of the 30 degrees north BWS 5B. Thing started up fine, sounds great, and I can't wait to get this thing out in the next video and bash it. If you're interested in seeing that, or any of the other videos that are gonna be coming up, we've got a lot of really cool stuff coming up. Be sure to subscribe, hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, throw them down in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.